Tornado.
Tornadoes cross the road.
So I'm pulling into Kankakee now. They just got pummeled with hail. This thing is almost, half the size of my face. I can only imagine how loud that must have been. Clearly, this is about where I would say the tornado developed.
Greetings, folks. This is about 2:20 p.m. Central Time from Normal, Illinois. We have arrived at the Loves and been basically just kind of setting up the gear after the short drive from a very chilly, gray Davenport. I had to remember where I was this morning. And took a much shorter drive today to arrive here at the Target, where it is currently 80 degrees and sunny. Drive down here, we went from upper 40s in Davenport. Once we crossed the warm front, we jumped up into the 70s. We went from gray to tornado skies. I don't know how else to call it, and just got these instability cumulus that have been developing, and more so off to the west, and that is what the Storm Prediction Center is highlighted. So we're expecting a tornado watch here within the next hour or two. They upgraded their day one to a moderate for the tornado threat that's up in this area. So expecting a pretty volatile day here. Currently at the Loves, as I mentioned, on the north side of Normal. Basically kind of tethering to I-39 right now. We'll see exactly where those first storms fire, and then we'll kind of line up, and then we'll poke west once those get going. But for now, we're just kind of in the wait part of the hurry up and wait. I'm finishing my interior setup in here, and we'll be ready to rock and roll within the next 30 minutes or so. We'll gas up, get the windshield next, and we'll be rocking and rolling. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, I've decided to work my way northbound to kind of get a little closer to the warm front. I'm northbound on 39, heading to Winona, to kind of set up a little bit closer to the boundary. A little interesting development that's kind of started to take place. The sea breeze coming off the lake near Chicago has actually kind of indented the front a little bit there. So it's possible anything riding the front that hits that area will likely get into the cool air and become elevated. So I think Chicago, minus getting the hail beat out of it, it's probably going to be clear from tornado threat. But seeing some more agitated queue to the north and west in both directions. So I'm gonna get up to Winona. There's an east-west road that gets across the Illinois River north of Peoria. So that seems like a pretty solid place to hold tight. We'll top off and do all that jazz, and we'll kind of wait and see. It is 3:19 right now, so we're looking pretty good so far. We'll see how the next hour or two goes. Alrighty, it is 4:04 p.m. We are just to the west of Pontiac on this now severe cell. Oh, that was a raindrop. Let's see if we can do a little walk and talk here. There's our storm. That core has really filled in the last 15 minutes. It was very diffuse earlier. Now it is definitely thickened up a little bit. The storm is making its way in this direction. The hail core is probably going to clip us here, so I might move a little bit back to the east just to get out of the way. Right now it's been warned for 1.5 inch hail, so not a huge concern, but no reason to get crazy. It's only 4:12 right now, so. But we are in the rain, enough for me to want to go ahead and move, so that is what we are going to do. So we'll see you down the road. Yeah, you can see it looping around in there. We definitely got some rotation. Strong low-level rotation. Might be an RFD cut. Right in there, I can tell. It's a dry RFD. That thing's spinning like a top, for sure. We're gonna flip around here because it's close. Tornado. Condensed, but it's in there. It's right behind those trees. There it is, right there. Tornado has crossed the road. All right, so we've turned northbound. The storm kind of looks still meh. I think it's moved into that kind of lake breeze, cool air north of the front. And it just really hasn't done a whole lot. So I'm northbound. There are storms well off to the west, which I think is that next round that I'm giving some attention to. The problem is I just did some quick math, and I'm not sure the window for me to do much with them before it gets dark is very big, so I'm just not committed to that yet. The other thing, I've heard there's some pretty good hail north of here. From this storm. You know, once it got cool, obviously it probably became a hail machine.
So I'm going to go ahead and go north, see if any of that hail looks good. Highway 17 is just north of there, and I can head west on that if I want. Or if this storm still looks, you know, something, I can head east and stick with it. It's only moving 30, so even with this little detour, it's not gonna, you know, I could still get back on it. So eyewalling west, but gonna go check out this hail and see if it's anything exciting. Again, about 20 to 30 minutes after the storm went through here, campus just did a roll around town. Again, fortunately, this was very spaced out. There's a lot of smaller hail on the grass in the fields, so the bigger stones were more spread out, so I didn't see a lot of intense hail damage in town. But overall, they really kind of dodged a bullet with hail this big. And this is a tennis ball. This is a tennis ball sized piece of hail. This is what fell here behind me in the town of Campus. This, just the sampling of what this storm has already produced. Okay, so we're eastbound on 115. We're heading back toward Kankakee, I think is the name of the town there. And this storm is really wrapped up. We're starting to kind of get reports that the rotation's increased. Radar looks really good suddenly now. So I'm about five miles as the crow flies from Interstate 57 on kind of a Bob's Road near the town of Irwin, looking at the Kankakee cell. So I'm behind it. It would just be to my north. If you're looking at the picture right now, you see me driving down the road. It is on the left side of the road. There is an active, likely very dangerous tornado. The precip is wrapped around it. I can't see it anymore, but there certainly was something. We'll navigate town. I can't find a really good route. There's a river there in the area that's going to prevent me from just going straight east. I'm going to have to kind of get up into town and then kick over on 17. Hey, there is. So I'm pulling into Kankakee now. There is, I mean, they just got pummeled with hail. I'm talking 4-inch plus. I mean, just absolutely atrocious. The damage is south of here. I'm going to send you some pictures, but I mean, these are probably approaching 4, maybe 5-inch hailstones. All right, we are in Kankakee, Illinois, folks. Look at the field here. Imagine that coming down on your head. So this is Kankakee. This is ginormous hail, 5+ inch diameter hail here in town that came through. Tornado touched down back that way. You see the water tower kind of up behind me here. I believe this is the high school. Likely large tornado. I'm trying to get to the other side of town right now, but obviously the hail kind of took precedence. But look at the size of some of this hail. I mean, this is nuts. This is some of the biggest hail I've seen in quite some time. And again, the ground is just covered in it. You can see as I'm walking here, I mean, just massive hailstones everywhere. And they're huge. I mean, thick, heavy hailstones. And the ground is just covered. You can see the indentations in the ground where some of this hail hit. Like, look at this thing. Like, that's a crater. These are craters right here. Like, that's a crater right there. That's a crater right there. I mean, just absolutely insane, the hail that's come down through here. 5 inches in diameter, so this is bigger than softball in some cases. Like I said, you put the baseball up to it and the hail actually dwarfs the baseball. So that is just an indication of what came through here. I can only imagine how loud that must have been. And again, you see the field just covered as far as the eye can see. And then this is pretty much the sight in just every direction. Hail as big as this all through town. So a lot of damage to cars and windows here. That's excluding the tornado that likely developed just to the southeast of here and pushed across the south side of town. I'll be very curious to see, because I don't know off the top of my head what the state record is for hail size in Illinois, but I would imagine this will at least get in the conversation for sure. And right now, this is the big story here on the south side of town, south of downtown, is this 4 to 5 inch diameter hail. Well, I was able to kind of get around here, and actually it's funny you mentioned it with the hail here. There's still some very, very big hail right here, but this is what we're watching here. I don't know if you can see in the background, but this is kind of an industrial area here on the south side of town. So this would be roughly about where I-57, just to the north of the I-57 junction. So I've kind of gotten around and seeing several industrial buildings, kind of warehouse, garage type buildings. This one's pretty significantly damaged on the east side of the building. Looks like a large part of the roof has been gone, but some significant damage to that building, and the debris from that building, parts of the roof, the walls, everything else got scattered across US 52. And again, that debris being strewn across the highway and eventually working its way out further east into some of the neighborhoods south and east of Kankakee, which I have not been able to get to at this point in time. We're westbound here because unfortunately we're not done with the severe weather. We've got another round of storms. Well, that ended up being kind of a waste. Storms were tornadic when I left to come get them, became less than severe by the time they got to me here in Gardner. I'm at the Casey's, just filled up, and I'm gonna look for a place to bunk down, probably up near Joliet. There's another round of storms that's kind of working its way toward the Chicago area, so maybe I'll get something on the back end of it once I get up that way. But gonna go ahead and call it a night here. Just some rain and wind with the storms that rolled through here, and we're gonna find me a hotel, head that direction, and we'll wrap it up for the evening. Greetings, folks, from Joliet. Is that how it's said? Maybe. Anyway, we're on the south side of Chicago, finally calling it a night here. I don't even know what time it is, but we've got landed here. We're getting unloaded. Still obviously have lightning here. I think this is like the 10th round of storms that comes through. But crazy day. Was on the initial supercell that produced the brief Pontiac tornado. Followed that storm for a while, kind of got tangled up in chaser traffic and hail. Came in on the backside of the Kankakee storm. I think it's Kankakee. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. But came in on the backside of that. Had a brief view of it when it came down. I was back to the west, and then unfortunately the roads didn't allow for a straight shot across the area there, but ended up on the back end of that storm. 5 to 6 inch diameter hail. Be very curious. Some rumors that we probably set the state record or broke the old state record for the largest hail in the state of Illinois with that storm. So documented some of that down near the high school, and then ended up in the damage path of the tornado there on US 52 and I-57 where the tornado crossed. So one good view of a weak tornado, and then a brief fleeting glimpse of the bigger one as it developed near Kankakee. So a couple of tornadoes for the day, plus the massive hail, and then the lightning strike at the end of the night. I was gassing up there in Gardner at the Casey's, and was actually kind of snacking on a bag of chips when that one came down. So that was a shocking way to end the night. And then I kind of played around with the rest of the storms for the evening, was hoping maybe to get some lightning out of it, as obviously the cold air had set in, and most of the storms I was seeing were north of the front, so didn't figure on much more in the way of tornadoes. But that was about it. So we're finally getting in. It's late. I'm gonna get everything unloaded and get settled in for the night, and kind of see what tomorrow holds. Folks, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please drop a like and tell me in the comments what you thought about it. And if you want to see where this whole crazy journey got started, check out my first ever chase back in 1997. A lot has changed since then for sure. You can also ride along for something a little bit more recent right down there. We'll see you in the next one.